So when it comes to how you're defining yourself, it would be nice to see if you give your chance the opportunity to explore a little bit of your unconscious. How many of you are willing to explore your unconscious? Okay. How many of you know how to? Meditation is one. What else?
Talking about my conscious.
Talking about your conscious? Talking about it is going to be minimal. It's going to get you minimally there. Because if it's unconscious, how are you going to make it conscious by talking about what's unconscious?
I don't know. I figured the expert in that.
Talking does help. Talk therapy helps because you're exploring other things from different perspectives that maybe you haven't considered, and it expands your view. Right? Hypnosis is another tool from the clinical team. What else?
Prayer.
How does prayer help? Okay, so the easiest way is to focus on how I feel when around others. Oh, Jazz, don't like him.
Huh?
I don't like him. Why, Eddie? Why don't you like him? He talks too much. So that's not about him. That's me deciding that I don't like somebody who talks too much for whatever reason. That comes from where?
Yourself. You're unconscious.
Unconscious. Unconscious.
Yeah.
Because you've already.
But why? Why don't you like him? He's such a nice guy. I don't know.
Because it's you.
I don't know. I just don't like him.
This is the you.
So then I start noticing that my frustration is higher when I'm around him, that my tolerance is lower when I'm around him, that I'm a mean person and sarcastic when I speak to him.
Ooh.
Where is that coming from? So thanks to him and the way I respond or react to him, I have information about me. And that's why, hopefully everybody tells you
That's why it affects you.
that whenever you are having a reaction to somebody else, bring it back to you.
Actually,
What does that tell you about you?
spiritual.
What information is it giving you about
You
you?
need to do some shadow work.
Okay, so can I indulge you for a minute? What did you say? Do some shadow work?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do a little spark.
You two are on a roll. You and him, no wonder you're roommates.
Yeah. It's a good team.
A good team,
I
yes.
don't mean to interrupt the group. I just had a thought, that after the information stored in my mind from what I learned out of the book, that habitual ritualistic, like day in and day out.
I like it,
Try to
ritualistic.
break that habit and put in new things instead of going, this, try to do this, or instead of trying to do this, do something else like this, and address mind, body, soul, and.
Right,
and
right? Another way to explore your unconscious is stepping out of your comfort zone.
Okay, see, that's what the doctor taught.
Oh, I only like
Hamburger.
hamburgers that are blah, blah, blah.
Greasy.
Okay, why? They taste delicious.
Word I'm looking for.
Okay, step out of that.
I'm looking for-
What are you going to allow yourself to eat? Well, I don't know. Well, step out of it. Why aren't you comfortable stepping out of it?
Because it's a habit.
So then you start exploring safety. Then you start exploring control. Then you start exploring limitations. And where is that coming from? I have to ask myself. So other people have the power of gifting you information about your unconscious. Comfort zones have the power of gifting you information about the comfort and discomfort that might be attributed to this piece of information that you carry. Right?
What's the word that explains how it keeps relationships alive? It's when you're doing something different. Like when I always going to the same place, not always making love the same way. Always doing something different. It's called
Diversity,
No.
Variety.
variety.
No.
It's not
It's-
monogamous. You don't want to be monogamous.
No.
Right?
That's spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous is the word that I'm looking for.
Well, that-
Spontaneous is a beautiful way to be,
It is fun.
especially in relationships.
It is fun, but it can also get tricky
Mm.
because sometimes we take it to the risk taking behaviors by being spontaneous. And that also gives you information about this, right?
Yeah.
So the moment you start observing yourself, the moment you start noticing how I respond towards others, the moment I start asking myself, why am I feeling this with other people? Why is it this type of person? So for instance, Curtis, oh my God, I don't know, he reminds me of somebody, I can't put my name to it. But he reminds me of somebody.
Wow.
I can.
He reminds me of somebody. He's being a symbol to somebody in my unconscious.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Right? And that's why sometimes, let's say I was 15 and I got pregnant and I got an abortion and I didn't tell anybody, right? I got 3 abortions,
No,
Patrick.
you didn't.
So it was a secret. I didn't say it to anybody. I went with life. I forgot about it. Nobody knows, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then, fast forward, I run into somebody who reminds me of the guy that impregnated me and that didn't give me that support, that nobody knows he existed.
Except you.
So I start responding to that person like I would have wanted to respond
Wow.
to that person back then that I couldn't because I was not in that place.
Yeah.
And then Jazz comes and says, but he doesn't do anything to you. Why are you so whatever?
You told me
Because
first.
there's some information that he's a symbol of for me. Unconscious.
So this has to deal with the term deja vu, like if you feel like you,
Well,
is that kind of the sense? Like if you feel, like you were talking about.
yes
you know
and
your
no.
name And he reminds you of.
Yes and no, it depends on the explanation. So deja vu has a specific type of definition that doesn't necessarily meet this. I could see your relationship because a deja vu is coming more from a spiritual past life experience, right? That's where the term usually is associated from. So if I believe in past lives and I believe that I was married to you in a past life, then if we start relating to one another in this life and we go somewhere, I might get a deja vu with you in that place because back then we experienced that. That's usually a deja vu, something that I've already experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually associated to past life. But in this context, I could see the relationship of how that is a symbol that activates something in you that reminds you of something else that you've already experienced.
Right.
So I get that concept.
Yeah, this is like on a personal note, right? Kind of.
Yeah. Okay? So if this is the self, right? If this is your self,
That's me.
how many parts are there to it?
36.
Many.
How many parts?
And it's made out of paper.
36.
A lot. How many colors?
A lot.
A lot. How many combinations could stem from it?
Over 12.
A lot, right? And how many entries does it have?
A lot.
A lot.
17.
So what makes you think that you are just 1 or 2 or 3 things? Because most of your life you've only seen 1 or 2 or 3 colors.